Hello everyone, this is Kona, and today I want to go over my favorite loadouts for the Spy. Now the Spy is a class that I really want to get good at. Back when I wanted to get good at Soldier, I felt that I needed to learn how to rocket jump, since I think that that's a really key skill in playing Soldier effectively, is rocket jumping. And you could argue that the Spy's equivalent to like rocket jumping are things like Matador stabs, stair stabs, basically trick stabs, right? But I feel like Spy is such a difficult class to play that I need to start from the very basics, basically starting from the beginning. Now I don't really want to do too much of that fancy stuff, I just want to work on things like movement, observing the enemy, and maybe playing some mind games on them if I can. Also, Spy's been getting a lot of changes recently, so I feel like this is a pretty good time to try and relearn the class. Now this first loadout I call the Assassin in Training, which consists of the Sharp Dresser, the Quackenbird, the L'Étranger, and the Apsap. Of course, a lot of these are reskins, so it's basically the default Spy loadout, but with the L'Étranger instead of the revolver. Now, I know shooting the revolver is a very important part of Spy, but the longer cloak time from the L'Étranger just makes it so much easier for me to move around the map while cloaked, and I don't feel rushed to get into position. Now, if you're new and want to learn sort of the pacing of the Spy, things like knowing when to decloak, moving around the map, you know, from ammo pack to ammo pack, knowing when to go in for stabs and saps, and you know, if you need just a little bit more time to think and change disguises while cloaked, I would recommend a loadout like this. It gives you a little bit more time to do that kind of stuff. Now, I'm not saying that only new people should use this loadout. This can be useful for veterans as well, people who main Spy. I mean, the longer cloak time might just give you enough time to reach certain ammo packs without decloaking, so really, this loadout can be used by anyone. Now, there could be some downsides to this loadout. For example, because of the reduced damage of the L'Étranger, this loadout sort of forces you to use your knife and sapper more, which means that you won't be able to get a whole lot of revolver kills. But, you know, this is not too much of a problem since, as a Spy, you're able to see the enemy's health, and so you can actually choose your targets with the L'Étranger, and sometimes this gun will be able to get the job done. This next loadout I call the Hit and Run, but I guess it's also called the Gotta Go Fast loadout or something, I don't know. It consists of the Big Earner, the Dead Ringer, the Diamondback, and the Snack Attack. Now finally, the Big Earner is decent. Oh man, it took a while. I mean, I remember when this weapon came out back in like 2011. I loved the way this weapon looks, but back then it didn't really synergize with anything, so I would always just go back to the default since it was better. But now with the speed changes to the Big Earner, it's actually a very good weapon for these type of hit and run tactics. And when you pair it with something like the Dead Ringer, boy, you'll be really difficult to kill. Even with all the Dead Ringer nerfs, you'll be very fast. Now I know this has a lot of potential for chain stabs, but since I'm still trying to learn Spy, I don't really use this loadout for chain stabs too much. I mean, I only have 100 health, so if I'm too greedy and I don't activate my Dead Ringer fast enough, I'm gonna get punished. I'm gonna get one-shotted from something, and that's when the rage starts to kick in, right? That's when you get really mad, because no one likes to get one-shotted, right? Random crits. Anyway, another reason why I really like this loadout is that it allows me to test my acting skills. Now, you can do some pretty good acting with all the other watches, but it's really hard to come up with an escape plan if someone were to spy check you. With the Dead Ringer, I just want to see what I can actually get away with, even though I'm like right in front of them. And if I get caught, if it doesn't work, well, no problem, I'll just activate it and then I'll try again. Now I know some Spies like to just keep the Dead Ringer out and activate it as soon as possible, just the smallest hit will activate it, and they use that opportunity to try and get behind them, and hopefully no one will hear the decloak. If they decloak in the right place that no one hears them, then they can easily get a kill that way. But for me personally, I really try to act my way behind them and try to get stabs that way. I feel like if I manage to pull that off, that I really played mind games on them. It's really just messing with them, because I was in plain sight and I did manage to fool them. I blended in so well that they completely ignored me, or they forgot to spy check me, or I was just that good at acting or something. But I feel like if I were to pull that off, it's very satisfying, and I feel like when I pull it off, I have a better understanding of TF2 and the players that play it. You know, I understand what classes go where and what looks suspicious and what doesn't. So you know, it's very satisfying. It's probably not the best way to play it because I get hit a lot, but it's really you get to see how people react to things, and that's a really fun and interesting learning process to go through. Okay, so finally, my absolute favorite loadout for the spy is the Patient Saharan Spy, which consists of the Wanga Prick, the Cloak and Dagger, the L'Étranger, and the Apsap. Of course, you could use the Your Tourney Reward. That would be probably better since that is part of the actual Saharan Spy set. But, you know, I wanted to give the Wanga Prick some love since I don't really see a whole lot of spies using it. So I don't know about you, but I use a headset when I play TF2 because I know how important sound is in this game, and one of the biggest giveaways for spies is all the screaming that's going on during backstabs. And really, that's all it takes is one backstab to give away your position, and then all the enemy's eyes are on you. With silent kills, with the no kill feed indicator, and the no dead bodies, this is pretty good. This is as probably as stealthy as stealthy as you can be. Now I noticed that when I get kills, the weapons remain on the ground even if their body is gone. So if someone was really paying attention, they could maybe find you that way. I guess they did this because of the new weapon pickup feature. I'm not actually sure if it was like that before they added this feature, but anyway, it would be nice if the ground wasn't littered with all the weapons of the people I just killed. Now the first kill I think is pretty important, and I don't really want to feel rushed into getting it, so that's why I don't use the default Invisawatch. I use the Cloak and Dagger. It allows me to really choose my targets, and sometimes I just like to observe the enemy. Sometimes I'll just sit and just watch them. I want to see which ones check for spies and which ones don't check for spies. I want to see how they move so that I don't whiff my backstab. And also I want to learn more about the respawn timing so that I don't decloak in the middle of a wave of enemies and get shot from the back. I've done that so many times where I think it's safe and then a pyro turns the corner that I didn't see coming and then he just easily burns me. It's just I really like to just sometimes sit down and observe all this stuff and really absorb it and learn it. Now, there is sort of a downside to all of this. Sometimes I find myself waiting too long. I feel too safe being invisible with the Cloak and Dagger, and I end up not really helping my team. You know, I end up just not doing anything. I'm just watching them, trying to wait for the perfect moment. I'm too caught up in trying to wait for that perfect moment that I actually miss a lot of these opportunities that go by. Kind of like this. I'm thinking, oh, well, should I go in? Nah, I don't want to go in. Like, oh crap, I should have gone. And I end up not making a move, which really hurts my team. I'm kind of useless. As I learn to play this loadout more and more, I'm hoping to become a little bit more confident in my decision making and play a little bit more aggressive. Maybe I can actually switch over to the default Invisawatch. Therefore, it'll sort of force me to move around the map more, decloak when I have to, and just generally be more active and aggressive so that I can actually contribute more to my team. So those are my favorite loadouts for the Spy. This is probably my new favorite class. I just love sneaking around. I like observing the enemy and learning more about, how they move and how they play. And I like playing mind games on them when I can. And there's still a lot to learn, at least for me. There's a lot to learn about this class. I want to learn things like trick stabs if I can. I know I'm not the best with the whole mouse control and stuff, but if I can, I might be able to learn some trick stabs. Also using the revolver more. I know that revolver is a very important part of playing Spy, and I want to use it more offensively, but right now I'm just sort of learning the basics, and I want to move up to that level. So my question for you is, what is your favorite loadout for the Spy, and what kind of stuff do you like to do to play mind games on other people, or maybe troll other people? Let me know in the comments below. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.